Think about the last time you told a joke. Maybe it was to make someone laugh, maybe it was to break the tension in a room, maybe it was to feel included. Or maybe, if we're being honest, it was because you love the feeling when everyone else laughs. There's no wrong answer, but think about how many reasons there are behind something as simple as telling a joke. Now imagine every other action you take in a day. Every conversation, every interaction, every time you show up for someone. How many of those can have more than one reason behind them? I've been sitting with that question for a while, and the closest thing I found to an answer came from a phrase a great mentor of mine once told me. A non-profit organization's goal should be to get out of business. A phrase that at first doesn't make much sense. It even sounds absurd. Because the simple logic of a business is that the more need there is, the more it will profit. So a business seeks to grow that need, to generate more sales, more activity, and therefore more growth. But if we look at it from a non-profit side, the purpose is the opposite. It's not to create more need. The purpose is something deeper. Because in business and in our everyday lives, what matters most is not what you do, it's why you do it. The purpose of an action is what changes everything. Then, if the goal of an organization is to help, why would its purpose be to stop existing? Shouldn't it be the opposite? Shouldn't it exist for as long as possible to create more impact? So, how do we really measure success? Maybe it's not just about creating impact, it's about creating change without creating dependency. Going one step further. Because helping is not just doing something for someone. Think about it like this. When a friend is going through a difficult moment, maybe the answer is not to tell a joke, to make them feel better. Maybe it makes more sense to listen, to give space, and to allow that person to find their answer from within. Change is not found in the quick solution or the immediate result. Real change happens when you're not there. When you're able to create reflection in someone else. When a new way of thinking comes alive and something shifts inside them. A caterpillar must go through the cocoon before it can become a butterfly. In the end, what matters is not the action. It's what remains after. Good actions with the wrong intentions lead to negative results. Let me say that again. Good actions with the wrong intentions lead to negative results. It's not about doing for the sake of doing or giving the easy fix. It's the search for the right intentions that lead to real impact. Are we helping because we're listening to our friend, or because we did the first thing that came to mind? Are we responding to a real need, or giving a superficial solution? And with this, we return to the initial phrase. Why should an organization stop existing? Because it should transform, adapt, evolve. Listen to new needs, new problems, new realities. Because help will always be needed, in one way or another. But you cannot help someone if your purpose is not truly to help them. The success of an organization is not in its size, it's not in its numbers or how much it makes. It's in how effectively it can stop from being needed. How well it can build communities that don't depend, but instead transform and grow. Because in the end, it's not about seeing the impact. It's about sparking it. And now, I'll ask you the same question I ask myself. When you show up for someone, are you really doing it for them? Or is it for the version of you that needs to feel like a good person? There's no wrong answer. But we know there's an honest one.